Hi viewers, so welcome back to the channel. Hope you are all doing good. So in this video, I am going to start the chapter of 1B. So intermediate, the chapter name is nothing but locus. So what is meant by a locus? So locus is nothing but a set of points which satisfy a given geometric condition. So here if you observe, it is nothing but a set of points. So set of points also that should satisfy the given geometric condition. That means a condition will be there. So the points which satisfies those condition, all together we consider them as locus of the given point. Right. Now let us see. So this is nothing but set of points. So locus is nothing but set of points. You need to remember this, right? Now let us see some examples. So we are saying that they are following a geometric condition, right? Now for suppose if I say a geometric condition, that is, so if from a fixed point I need to have the locus of a point, so which is equidistant from that particular fixed point. Now if I take a fixed point here, so from this fixed point I need to have the points which are equidistant from this fixed point. Now let us consider this point as some C. Now if I consider the points so which are equidistant from this particular point C, so if I consider all the set of points, now if this distance is some r, then this distance is also r and this distance is also r. So likewise if I consider, then this set of points, so this set of points are going to form a circle. So this is nothing but forming a circle. So from this what I can say, so from a fixed point, if I take the locus of points or the set of points equidistant from the given fixed point, then I say that as the locus of that particular point. So here the locus so called formed is nothing but a circle. So it is following the condition. So from a fixed point the distance should be the same. Now in this particular context, so whatever the point that is present on this locus, so that I will be representing with some p x comma y. So why I am expressing it is p x comma y means, since I am going to consider a coordinate plane. So Cartesian coordinate system consists of x axis as well as y axis. So whatever the point that is present in the xy plane, I consider it as p x comma y. Now this p x comma y I can take anywhere on this particular locus. That means what I can say, so this particular point p x comma y satisfies the locus of a point. That means if this particular point is substituted in the equation of this particular locus, if it is satisfied, then we say that it is one of the solutions, or simply this point is lying on the locus. That means it is the point of the set of points of the given locus, right? So likewise we are having different types of conditions, right? Here if you observe, we are saying set of points, no? So how to represent this particular condition? So how to represent this? So I am going to represent, so since we are talking about set, no? So set is nothing but represented in set builder form. So this particular thing I will be representing as p such that Cp is equal to some radius r. So p is nothing but a point such that Cp is equal to r. So this is one example. The same way we can take some more examples, since we are talking about geometric condition, right? Now let us take one more example. Now I am taking 2 points. So let this point be A and let this point be B. Now from these 2 points I need to find out a set of points, that is nothing but locus of this particular set of points such that they are equidistant from both the points. Then what is its locus? So locus is nothing but set of points. Now what is its locus? Now let us see. So equidistant from A and B means nothing but you can consider it a midpoint now, right? So this midpoint will be equidistant from both A and B. Likewise if I consider one point above it, then also I am going to have, so for that what I am going to do is I am going to join this AB, then I am going to have line segment. Now I am considering a midpoint, so above that point I can consider one more point, so that particular point will be equidistant from both the points. So by means of RHS congruency we can prove that. The same way, if I consider some more points, so one above the other, the same way, so in the bottom side also if you consider, so all these points will be equidistant from both the points. So whatever the distance it is, the same distance will be this. So how we are saying is nothing but, so since it is midpoint, so this particular line acts as the perpendicular bisector. That means what is the locus of this particular point? So locus of this point is nothing but perpendicular bisector. That means it is getting a straight line. So this straight line we call it as perpendicular bisector. So from this what you have observed, so from 2 points, the set of points or the locus equidistant from 2 given points is nothing but a perpendicular bisector. The same way we can go for angular bisector also. So you know about angular bisector, right? So what is meant by angular bisector? So angular bisector means, so you will be having one particular angle. So angle is formed by 2 arms. The rotation made by one arm with respect to the other arm is nothing but called as angle. Now whenever you consider an angle, if you want to tell about the angular bisector, so how will you tell? Angular bisector is nothing but, so if this angle is split into 2 equal parts, then we say that it is an angular bisector, but it is not the actual definition. The actual definition of angular bisector is nothing but, so angular bisector is nothing but the set of points which are equidistant from both the arms. So from both the arms, if you consider the set of points, then those set of points are nothing but forms an angular bisector. Now let us see that. See, if I consider this particular point, so this particular point will be equidistant from both the arms. The same way, if I consider one more point, so this should be equidistant from both the arms. Likewise, if I consider all these set of points, so all these set of points are going to form my angular bisector. Now this particular line is nothing but called as angular bisector. So this angular bisector is nothing but set of points which are equidistant from 2 given arms of an angle, right? So this particular locus forms angular bisector. So likewise we are going to have the number of geometric conditions. So based on those we are going to form different types of figures, and we are going to transform those figures into algebraic expressions, right? So whatever the things that are given as a geometric condition, so we are going to represent them in the form of algebraic expressions, right? So algebraic expressions means nothing but, so we are going to represent them in the form of some f of x comma y is equal to 0. So f of x comma y is equal to 0 means it is nothing but a function in functional equation which is in terms of x and y. So already we have discussed why x and y, because we are dealing with the coordinate system, right? So these all are nothing but some famous figures, so which we usually see in our previous class, which we have seen in our previous classes, right? So that's why we have represented these particular figures. Okay, the main intention of this chapter is to represent a geometric condition into its algebraic form. That means we need to represent everything in terms of x and y's, right? Now let us see. So we have said that every locus is of the form f of x comma y is equal to 0. That means every locus is represented in the form of f of x comma y is equal to 0. Now here we are going to consider some point p x comma y. So this will be my locus of the point. Now if this particular point satisfies this equation, then we say that this point lies on the locus of the circle, locus of the given condition, or simply what we can say, so this p of x comma y is a point of the locus, right? Now let us see how to find the locus of a point. So how to find the locus of a point? So first of all, we need to have the step by step procedure. We need to know the steps, right? So steps that we need to follow to find out the locus of a point. So first of all, first point. So what is the first point? So what we need to take is, you need to consider p x comma y is locus of a point. So always you need to start with a point p x comma y, which is the locus of a point. Next, after that, so what we need to do is, you need to read the question carefully. You need to read the question carefully. So after reading the question, you need to write. So we said geometric condition, no? So write the geometric condition. So write down the geometric condition which is given in the question. So here the most important thing is, you need to read the question and you need to understand it carefully. So when you read and understand, then only you are going to get the geometric condition. So after getting the geometric condition, so next step what we need to do is, so we need to apply the appropriate. So you need to apply the appropriate coordinate geometry formula. You need to apply the appropriate coordinate geometry formula. So for suppose, if distance is given, you need to apply distance formula. If midpoint is given, you need to apply midpoint formula. So likewise we are having different types of formulas. Likewise we are having area of triangle formula. So if you are asked about area of triangle, so you need to apply the area of triangle formula in coordinate, so which we have learned in coordinate geometry, right? So here the main thing is, apply the appropriate coordinate geometry formula, right? So you need to remember the coordinate geometry formulas, otherwise you can't do the problem. Next, the last point. So the last point is nothing but, what is the last one? So nothing but, so after substituting, what will you do? So you need to simplify. So simplify the equation. So you need to simplify the equation which is free of radical sign. Which is free of radical signs. So what is the meaning of radical sign? So radical sign means, so you might have square root, you might have cube root, or whole power 2 by 3, 3 by 2. Likewise you will have rational powers, so which are in the form of p by q. So if you are having rational powers, that means we call them as radical signs. So if you have radical signs, you need to free them. So free those terms which are having radical signs by either squaring on both sides or cubing on both sides. So whatever the appropriate operation that you can apply, so you apply that particular operation and free them from radical signs. Next, there is one more step. So if you want to do, you can do, otherwise you can leave it. So the fifth point is nothing but checking. So we need to verify whether the obtained equation is my locus of point or not. So that is the last point. So it is optional. So if you want to check, you can check, otherwise you can leave it, right? So once again we will see the steps. So first of all, you need to consider p x comma y as a point, locus of a point. Next, second point is nothing but, you need to write the geometry condition from the given question. Next, you need to apply the appropriate coordinate geometry formula. So apply the appropriate coordinate geometry formula. So you need to apply the formulas. Next, after that you need to simplify, and if you are having any radical signs, so finally you need to free them from their radical signs by either squaring on cubing on both sides. So mostly by squaring and cubing we are going to get it, so in most of the problems, right? So if you follow these 4 steps, so you are going to solve each and every problem of a locus. So in some questions, so it is better, so from the given question, so you can draw the figure. So to obtain the geometric condition, you can draw the figure, right? So by drawing the figure also you can obtain the condition, right? So from that, remaining third step and fourth step follows. Okay, by using these 4 steps you can solve any problem related to locus.